Henshin a go baby. What's good, guys? Yoku here, and I'm tired. All right, not of like other stuff. I mean, literally, I'm tired. I just woke up. But point being is that I was going to do the thing yesterday, which is why I showed you guys a video, but unfortunately it's today, so you're watching this today. Some stuff came up and I got lazy and tired and whatever. Anyway, point being is that I need to show you guys in the game exactly what I'm talking about. So the presumption, the notion, whatever, something is going around that the gameplay is just like bare bones, click, 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 skill, click, 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 skill, which mind you, I just want to point this out here. Genshin Impact, Honkai Impact, and Honkai Starro, especially Starro, they're all normal attack, skill, pop, and ult. They all do the same thing. There's only a few characters that I can think of, especially in Genshin Impact, that might change how they play. And the only one off the top of my head is Ayaka. And that's simply because you have to incorporate her dashes into her actual attacks. But beyond that, I don't know anything that's super significant or super special about that character. Moving forward from there, the preconceived notion, and let's go ahead and jump into the game. The preconceived notion here is that these characters, any character for that matter, is just bare bones. Yeah. And so the problem that I have when folks say that is simply that you haven't explored, and it's not necessarily their fault. Again, I say this in every single video because I need to make it very clear. I am a fighting game player, so a lot of what I do when it comes to labbing or looking for unique things about a character's kit, how it functions, how it works, all of that comes natural to me. So I see things that other players might not see. Whether or not I'm required to do that in the game is completely irrelevant to me. If the game only required me to parry everything for life, and I successfully beat the game, that's cool. That doesn't really tell me that I can't do something, and I'll show you what I mean. So in Nekomata's case, Nekomata, you notice in her entire kit, if you guys have Nekomata, if you read her entire kit, nothing about this has anything to do with back attacks, but there are some key things in here that you could read. In particular, her basic attack, Crimson Blade, the one that you hold down attack during the first 3 hits of Nekomata's basic attack to trigger this attack. What does this look like? So whenever Nekomata is doing any of her attacks, so it's like 1, right? That's 1 basic attack. 2, that's 2 basic attacks. 1, 2, 3. So when she does the turnaround, that's 3 basic attacks. What Crimson Blade is 1 hold, 1 hold, 1, 2 hold, 1, 2, 3 hold. Okay, the hold, this dash through, is very important. Why is that important? It's important because of positioning. It's important because Nekomata is a character, and again, she doesn't have anything in her kit that says back attacks until you get her E2, her second copy. I do not have a second copy of Nekomata, by the way. I'll explain why back attacks are important for me without the dupe. Positioning. Nekomata, her entire kit is based around positioning, especially once you start doing the little things like this. So right now I'm behind the enemy. I also have what is equipped with, I think I can show it to you. I'm not entirely too sure. Don't exit combat, please. Nekomata has her weapon called Steel Cushion. It's her signature weapon. Right now in the beta, you can just pick it. It's free. You can just get it if you choose to. If you don't, it is what it is. Physical damage is increased by 25%. So that's her natural damage. And then that effect is increased by an additional 35% when attacking the enemy from behind. There are different Resoniums. Resoniums are the cards inside of the hollow mode, like your simulated universe, if you're familiar with that, or your roguelike mode. That's literally the roguelike mode is the Resonium feature. There are Resoniums that prioritize back attacks, and they turn back attacks into guaranteed crits. They turn back attacks into like 80% extra damage. They turn back attacks that do crit into 200% crit damage. It's crazy. So in Nekomata's case, not only does she have that, but in the event that, let's say you did get E2, this now turns all of her attacks into a back attack, or they're considered back attacks when the enemy is stunned. It's really nasty. It's really disgusting. It's really good. Her weapon, as I just showed you guys there, prioritizes increasing her damage from the back attack. And I can show you that in the game. So right here, this is 160, right? That's on crit. So about 105 is what I'm looking at. Yeah, 105 in the front, 160 is on crit. So we'll use 105 first, 131, 200 on crit. You see that it's increased exactly as the W engine, that's her weapon, exactly as that says. So now knowing that and knowing how Nekomata functions, even if I was going to mash square, 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 the problem with doing that, and this is just, you know, being aware of what you're doing in the game and why you're doing it, is the game is a very aware game, especially once you get towards like later level 35 and beyond. The game is very aware. If you're not aware of what you're doing, you will get decimated. Basically, right? If I'm playing Nekomata and I want to care about positioning, let's say that I was mashing and I'm doing whatever. Oh, I'm going to pop my skill. So like 1, 2, 3, boom, boom. I'm in the front. I'm still right here in the front of this enemy because I'm mashing. Now, if I'm aware and I really wanted to do the entire string, I go behind them and then I mash, right? And I get more damage. I also, if you notice with Nekomata in particular, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, anytime she dashes through the enemy, she will always be facing the enemy. This is very important simply because if you play Genshin Impact, you know that, like for Hu Tao, for instance, Hu Tao charges through the enemy. Whenever Hu Tao charges through the enemy with her charge attack, she's always facing the opposite way. It's not like the biggest deal in the world, but it is important to note because if you play MMOs or anything that has DPS, anything that requires you to not be directly on the enemy doing damage is a loss of DPS, is a DPS loss. Her automatically turning towards the enemy means that you could literally do this, continue your assault, and keep it going. I don't have to manually turn around in order to get that, that feature or that action going. So that's just Nekomata. Of course, you can come in and combine combos and whatnot. I'll explain that later on in the video. Now, let's go into Nicole here. Nicole, and this is something that I recently discovered thanks to a Reddit user. I forget that. I want to say it's like Flying Dragon or something like that, but I really don't remember the Reddit user's name, but it was posted on Reddit. I saw it and I was like, this is some like really good tech. I don't know why I would use this, so I had to go figure out why I would use this. I only figured out one use for one of them, but there's like 4 different things. Anyway, I'll explain it. Nicole's special attack. Everyone has Nicole. You start off the game, you're taught that you use her special attack, which is the orb, or if you have no meter, it's just a boom boom, right? It's just a big old shot and it blows them back. If you have meter, you launch it or you load it, and then it turns into basically a Venti tornado. It's got a small radius around it, a gravity orb, okay? Like Zarya's gravity orb from Overwatch has a small radius around it, sucks up the enemies around, keeps them in that orb, and then it does consistent damage, does corruption damage, things like that. You need the meter in order to do that move. Yeah, you can see at the top left that I don't have the meter anymore. There is no other way to do this move unless you like use assist to trigger her in. But what if I told you that you could actually perform that move and get different results if you were to just use a fighting game input? And so on keyboard, this is really hard to do because I need 2 hands. I could not do it with my mouse. So I'm using a controller. On controller, and I'm gonna turn this on so that it's infinite energy, just so that you can see what I'm talking about. Actually, before I do that, I will show you that it does consume energy first, okay? Hold, let it go. You see how much faster the orb came out? It also drops down from the sky. And so at first I thought this was a glitch, right? Like this isn't supposed to be here. And maybe it's not, but that's an animation. They had to animate that, which means nowhere else in the game, nowhere else in her animations does she do this. So it's purposely put here. It's nowhere in her move list. Nowhere in here does it say any of this stuff. Nowhere in it. I would know because I'm looking for a 360 motion. In order to do it, you have to do a 360 command grab motion, right? It's not in here. The skills, nowhere is it in here that it tells you guys anything about, yeah, do a 360 motion and you get this animation. It's not here. So now I'm gonna put everything on and I'm gonna show you guys. So I could do that one, launch that, right? I could also cancel these. And that's another thing that we can talk about is the actual canceling of animations. You don't, some of y'all just, and again, it's not your fault. You're playing the game, you're mashing, it is what it is. Y'all are not aware. That's the best way to say it. When you guys are doing this stuff, like mashing triangle or mashing square into triangle, whatever, and then you just stand there and then you move around, you're playing the game wrong. You can animation cancel almost whatever the hell you want. So I could literally do 1, 2 animation cancel dash attack into whatever. Now I'm going to show you something else, right? Because I just showed you guys in order to do the other thing, it was a skill. Now I'm not going to press the triangle button. That's my skill button. I'm going to press the square button. Okay. So what you end up doing is you dash, do this same thing, and you rotate it. You do a 360 and you still get the gravity orb. For whatever reason, even though I'm not using the skill, it still does consume meter. So it counts as using the skill, but it is what it is. It's just another way to get the skill out in a combo. Why would you do that? Well, not only is the gravity orb gonna suck them up, because it's in the game, it counts as a skill. It means that she's fully invulnerable. In the event that you're doing this, you are fully invulnerable for the entire time that she's sitting here. The robot could smash my head into smithereens. You will not take damage until she starts to get up. The moment she starts to get up, she is no longer invulnerable. Taking the skill into play, I also didn't show you guys the other one. you can hold it right here and she will still launch that bitch. So there are just different animations, different ways to do these things. And again, this is basically a hidden input in the game. If Nicole has hidden inputs, what's there to believe, or what leads me to not believe other characters also don't have hidden inputs? So I'm gonna go and test that out. But you guys get what I'm saying from that. So that's all Nicole. Now, what would be the implications of doing this? If I'm showing you guys how I laugh, by the way, the thought process in my head. Why would I want to do something like this? Yeah. Now you see she stands there, she sits there, whatever, the orb comes out. Now the orb is shooting up. It also has a range on it. So this one, her normal orb, that bitch is far. That's like a full screen orb, okay? If I were to rotate this one, same thing, full screen orb, I'm gonna get where I need to go. It's like 0.1 second faster. I'm not gonna lie to you, because it feels like the ball shoots out. There's like 2 balls, but whatever. This orb though, when you let it go, it's like a very close, right? You see that's not really, that don't go too far, okay? I haven't found a way to extend that. Maybe like if you hold it and then hold it forward, I don't know. But I have not found a way to extend that in that range. It's always going to hit that same like mid range. Yeah. Why would I want to do this? Well, I do have Nekomata. Let's say that the enemy is here, and what I consider switch tech, which is from Naruto. Switch tech, there's a bunch of different ways to do it, or not ways to do it. There's a bunch of different reasons why you want to do it. But the base reason is so that the enemy, your opponent, they're targeting Nicole. Okay. So whatever he's doing will target Nicole. Now you have to be aware of when you're doing this, otherwise you're just pressing buttons and you're gonna get hit. If the enemy is doing like his boom, 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 he does this big old swing. Yeah, if the enemy's attacking and you switch tech, his target is still Nicole. Whatever character you were just on, as long as they're on the screen, that's his target. Now, switch tech, unfortunately, does not work the way it does in Naruto. In Naruto, when I use switch tech, the character that I'm switching out of is no longer active, which means they don't take damage, but they will get hit. They take the hit, but they don't take damage. In this game, since each character has their own health, it works very mostly akin to a Marvel game, a tag game, where if I hit that bitch, they gonna take some damage. So you want to do things that are invulnerable, or you want to interrupt the enemy. So there's different methods or different actions that you could do with the switch tech. In Nicole's case, I'll explain it this way. If I'm using Nicole with Nekomata, I obviously want to get to the back of the enemy without them turning around, because enemies can turn around because they want to hit you. In Nicole's case, if I'm doing something like this, I let it go, the orb comes down, he's still targeting Nicole, the orb pulls him back so he can't move forward, and now he is stuck in the orb. Meanwhile, I didn't have to dash at all. I walked behind him because the orb lasts long enough. It's set play, and now I'm in the back of him. So now I can do literally whatever the hell I want. I could go for the ultimate and get maximum back damage on the ult. I could go for a full combo because the orb lasts that long. I could do my skill 2 times because the orb lasts that long. I could switch into somebody else because the orb lasts that long. It's just different things that you can do. Not only that, but you also see that I have Corn on the team. So let me try and like position it. I guess I can't position it so that Corn would be there, but I have the button, so it doesn't matter. In Corn's case, Corn's very similar. Certain characters, Corrin, I think Anton, maybe Ben, I don't know, they have hold specials. So what a hold special is like, this is what her normal skill looks like, boom, and then it explodes, right? That's just me tapping the button, tap one skill. But if I hold it, Corrin gonna sit here for a hot minute and then it explodes. So what ends up happening, Salcoco, that's what I'm thinking of. What ends up happening is now you can implement switch tech in an aggressive manner. So I can do something like 1, 2, 3, in my skill, hold the skill, right? So I can let her hold that skill, get that skill off long enough to do whatever I need to and switch out. It works easier with Salcoco. I have not played Corn yet. I'm just telling you guys based on hold skills and because it gives the physical bonus for Nekomata. So in Salcoco's case, Salcoco has 2 different things that you can do, and this is typically what I do. I'll explain it. When she has her vortex stacks, Fly the Banner gives you an increase in whatever it turns into the frosted banner. So now her weapon is enhanced so that she gets more damage off her basic attacks for the next like 45 seconds or 8 hits, something like that. At a base understanding of what I'm telling you to do, you are going to hold her Fly the Banner. All right, that's the hold move. You're going to switch into whatever other character you want, and then you're going to do it. I use Lycon or Vaughn because ice damage, ice shred, things like that. So Salcoco holds, I switch into him, and then I'm doing whatever I want. Fly the Banner lasts long enough for 2 things to happen. 1, because she's still in the field, she has full invulnerability during her EX skill, which is the fly the banner hold right there. She's taking the attack, but she's not taking the damage. That's switch tech. Then, because I can swap into Vaughn, I don't know why it keeps going into baby girl right here. I'm not trying to have that happen, but I see why now. The assist tag is happening. I don't want the assist tag to happen. I have to take her off. Okay, here we go. Much better. So now I can go into Vaughn. Vaughn comes out during the tornado if you cancel it fast enough, which I did not. And then Vaughn gets a little bit more on the ice shred. He gets to go into his skill. He can pop his ult while the tornado is going on, little things like that. So I could do that, right? So you saw the kick came out and then I canceled it immediately into ult. And now I was able to get whatever damage was going to enhance off that. I get double the freeze potential. The anomaly buildup is crazy. I could do something like this, swap into him, go into my kicks. I'm still doing the kicks. The freeze buildup, the anomaly buildup is crazy. I'm doing a lot of damage. And in a situation where I'm focusing on the days meter, well, now I can focus on like, oh, okay, cool. So maybe I had like a couple of hits here and then I went straight into this, I went into that, and now I can like rapidly build up that days meter. So it's just different things that you can do in different scenarios. The last thing that I want to show you guys, still dealing with switch tech here, but having a character that everybody has in the game would be Anby. So, and I'll use Vaughn here because I think you get a juggle combo from this. I could be wrong, but we're about to find out. Anby, same situation, right? You use her skill. That's what her skill looks like. Now in Anby's case, you can piano the switch tech so that you don't get the assist trigger. So if you piano it, she does it, and you saw that I came out before she even got her attack off. How did you do that? It's switch tech, it's execution. Different things like this in the game. The fact that this is in the game in general, and again, they're not telling you this stuff, it's just literally fighting game knowledge. The fact that this is in the game in general allows me to do whatever the hell I want. If I was playing Nekomana, because Anby is already active in the front, she's doing whatever she needs to. She is going to keep the enemy facing forward, or she's going to shock them, one of the two. I run behind, I get back damage. I'm now attacking the enemy from the front and the back. I'm DPing the enemy. Crazy shit, I know. So you have the chance to have double anomaly build up. If you're playing a shock character, you can double shock that, different things like that. You can build up the days like crazy. There are a lot of combo options in the game that you simply are not aware of as a player. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the game should not have to teach you this stuff. The beauty in a fighting game is finding the things that work and link together so that you can have that advantage over a player or the computer, whatever. In this game, I also think that's still the beauty. The beauty of this game is straight up the fact that I've been discovering so much stuff pertaining to fighting games, switch tech, different ultimate cancel animations, switch tech cancel animations, actual animations from the assist, skill animation cancels, things like that. I don't have Grace, but I do believe I have gameplay of Grace that I might like B-roll over. But if I don't, point being is that, and I'm telling you guys now, Grace can cancel everything. Rena, the ghost girl, she can also cancel everything. What do I mean by that? I mean literally everything. You can basic attack, skill, dodge, basic attack, skill, dodge, basic attack, skill, and it will all link. You don't, she never has a break if you play her right. So if you have a high execution, she never stops. You can literally spin circles around a group of enemies, keep chucking grenades, and they will get stunned and placed. She has she basically has crowd control without a skill that allows her to have crowd control. It's weird, but yeah, she can like spin around the enemy. Ellen, another character, can literally shark Nami. Like she makes the little, you know, the thing that sharks do, and then like they're swimming around you, they're gonna kill you. It's a thing of sharks or whatever, a school of sharks, whatever. Basically, Ellen can do the same thing with a bunch of enemies. She groups them together. So there's different things that you can do through animation cancels. Yeah, through animation cancels. Grace in particular, Arena in particular, Ellen, things like that. There's a lot about the game that you guys don't know, and you don't know it because the game doesn't tell you. But again, that's not the game's job to do. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. It's for players like me. It's for people who want to explore the game, and it is what it is. Granted, and I didn't want to release any of this information because I don't want them to take it out. If they take it out, the game is dead. If any of this stuff is not in the full game when it releases, the game is dead. If they don't improve this stuff, the game is dead. Like, right? It's not dead, just to give you normal, but they need to improve it. That's point being. That's why I didn't want to tell anybody anything. No one else has said anything about this, right? Like, even if other people have discovered it, it is what it is. But I'm so tired of y'all saying, and this is to everybody. So some of you guys are just leaving some really like weird comments, and y'all don't play the game. Like, you don't have the game. Some of you don't even have the game and you're like, oh yeah, man, it just looks like basic attack skill. I'm just gonna keep playing Genshin. Genshin is basic attack skill. Like, what do you mean? You know what? It doesn't matter. I was going to show you guys like some Hollow Zero gameplay, but I didn't realize that actually teaching you the intricacies or the hidden mechanics of the game. And this is just like, I'm at like surface, like a little under surface level right now. There's a lot more that I'm not able to fully deep dive on because A, I don't have the characters, the banner keeps cucking me, and B, I don't have the time. So it is what it is. But it is, you know, all this kind of stuff is just there. I just want to, you know, throw that out there. There's a lot more to the game that has not been announced. There's a lot more to the game that players haven't discovered, yada, 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 things like that. I'm going to get out of here because I think I want food, but I'll figure it out by the time I hit stop recording. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on that. If you have been taught something, if you are one of those people who are going to say, I already knew that. I know everything about the game, even though I don't even have the game because I knew everything anyway. Suck my dick. I can't say my user outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. Smell you later.